Shalom, 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 Israel. Hope y'all can hear me by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. If y'all can hear me, all praises to the Most High, man. Um, First, let me give all praises to Yahweh in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai. I say, Kwam Yasharala to the nation. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day, man. All praises to all the brothers and sisters of Israel, Ashar, atonement. I know brothers and sisters is, keeping the atonement, fasting, atoning for their sins, rethinking everything in this past year and, giving praise to the Most High through His Son that we could do this, man, that we could keep God's laws, man. I give all praises to that. For the brothers and sisters that's in different camps that have already kept the Day of Atonement, all praises to the Most High. And for brothers and sisters that's got the Day of Atonement upcoming and it's not keeping it on the same days, that's all fine. It's all praises to the Most High. Okay, we're rehearsing the righteous acts. No brother, no sister should be discouraged when we see in other camps, we see other brothers have other understandings, other sisters having other understandings. It is what it is because we're not in the new covenant. It is. It's tough to say for you Christians, but we're not in the new covenant. And the only way we'll be all on one accord as far as understanding is when we get into the new covenant, when the law will be written on our hearts. Okay? That goes for the feast days written on our hearts, right? That goes for the high holy days written on our hearts, all the laws, all of that will be pretty much downloaded into us. So as for right now, man, we rehearsing the righteous acts, right? Now, y'all see this right here, right? I got the whiteboard. It's whiteboard time, right? Shout out to Sons of Thunder, man. Brother Yahweh, Brother Eliel, right? Some of the brothers, man. I love them. Hey, they brought out the whiteboard first, right? And it's going down today. We're going to bring out the whiteboard. We're going to shut down, okay, all these false doctrines, all these false understandings, okay? We're going to get right to the nitty gritty. We're going to write down things. We're going to refer back to it and see if it makes sense, man. Right? And with that, we give all praises to the Most High because we're able to do this. We're able to have this understanding and confound, right, these Christian apologists and whatever other false religion you're in. We're able to confound these people, man. And they went to seminary school. They paid hard money, okay? They so-called studied the scriptures, but we're out here confounding these people, man. Right? So what I want to say, man, is listen, this lesson is going to be for people who are out there battling them Christians, man. When that Christian gives you that precept you never heard of, or when that Christian completely twists the scriptures into a way you never heard before, right? We're here to help you, and along with other brothers as well. Shout out to the brothers of Sakari. Got the Sakari, what is that called? The scholarship, right? You got Watchmen for Israel. I've seen I just saw another camp that's doing a school, online school thing, man. So all praises to the Most High, right? So with that, man, let's get into it. Today's lesson, and I didn't want to give away the title, right? I mean, the lesson in the title. I just want y'all to know I'm going to be using this bad boy right here, right? For videos and upcoming videos, man. We're going to be hitting that whiteboard. So today's lesson, man, we're going to talk about the Gentiles, okay, in the New Testament. Not only just the New Testament, but in the Old as well. Okay? And we're going to see if these Gentiles, okay, are the ones that Christ has promised salvation to. Are those Gentiles ones of the other nations? Or are these other Gentiles? Right? Because it has to match the theme of the Bible. Right? And the theme of the Bible is Israel, 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 Israel. Okay? From Genesis to Revelation. Okay? So, this is what we're going to do. I got a quick video for y'all. Now, this is an Edomite Christian white Jesus video. I'm only showing this so brothers and sisters can see, right, that Salakia. I'm only showing this so brothers and sisters can see. Give me 1 second. Salakia, bear with me, y'all. Right? Salakia. So what I'm doing is Um, I'm gonna show y'all this video, right? And the reason I'm gonna show y'all is because this is how Christians really think. This is how Christians really believe the word of God. What they think the word of God says this. They really believe that the world looks at the word of God like this, right? And the reason why I know this is they made a whole movie about it. All right, so let's go to it. Right, let's check it out. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen, right? In the words of my brother Deacon, let me share my screen, right? Share my screen. Now check this out, right? We don't play this. I hope everybody can hear this. I hope everybody can hear this, right? I haven't gone live in a long time, man. Right? So if some things are a little off, bear with me, but we give all praise to the Most High. Now, real quick, because what I'm gonna do is let's do it like that. Huh? Now, listen, I'm a Tony today. Okay, I didn't get ready. Okay, I came out here to look afflicted, so y'all gotta bear with the haircut. Can y'all hear that? If y'all can hear that, put a one in the chat if y'all can hear that. The brother saying they can't hear it. So give me 1 second. Let me see. Bear with me here. Right? Let's see here. No sound. All right, so Salaki, if I can't get this going with no sound, I'm just gonna not care because really the lesson is about what I'm gonna bring the scriptures out on. Right? Let me see here. Bear with me, y'all, Salaki. Okay. All right, so I don't think it's playing any sound, but you know, that's just the adversary or me not doing research on how to run my computer. Anyway, right? Let's let's put that camera back on. So listen, this is what we're gonna do, right? What I was gonna show y'all was basically a very old, you know, Edomistic adaptation of Paul and Shalakia, Peter going to Cornelius. All right. Now, I just wanted to we can leave through the images. I just wanted to show y'all how folly this was, man. Look at these white folks, look at these Edomites, right? This is supposed to be Cornelius right here. Okay. Y'all see, hold on, let me go back. Let me share this, y'all. Let me share this, man. Right? Okay, let's go back. This is supposed to be Cornelius right here. Y'all see that, right? This is supposed to be Cornelius. Y'all see he got his Roman centurion outfit here, right? Now this man in the back is supposed to be Peter. That's supposed to be Peter right here, right? Simon Peter. Peter's an Israelite. Okay? Now Cornelius is too, but we'll get into that later. All right. Now, since we're gonna do away with this video, let's get that out of here. Let's get into the scriptures. All praises to the Most High, right? So we already saw their adaptation of the scriptures. Is the Israelites are white, okay? Then they go to the Gentiles in this adaptation. These Gentiles are white. Interesting. Now, we also know that they try to say that the Egyptians were white. Interesting. This is a very white supremacist understanding of the scriptures. Everybody's white, okay? The Israelites are white, and now they can graft in or add in these Gentiles who are also white as well. Doesn't make any sense, right? So let's get into the scriptures, right? We're going to start with, let's first start with the book of Leviticus, right? Let's go to the book of Leviticus because I got to show y'all something, right? The first thing we got to understand is this Old Testament, right? Our scriptures, our historical biblical scriptures is about one nation of people. So let's go to Leviticus, right? We're going to go to Leviticus 25. Let's see what it says. Leviticus 25. Now let me share this, right? Let's go to Leviticus 25. I believe it's 20. Let me see. 25, 25. All pretty, no, yeah, 25, 25. Now check this out. It says, if thy, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in, right? So we want everybody to see this. Now, y'all with me? All praises. Check this out. It says, if thy brother be waxing poor and have sold away some of his possessions. No, I think it's 35. Let me see. I believe it's 35. All praises. Leviticus 25 and verse 35. Check this out. And if thy brother be waxing poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. It says thy brother, right? Check this out. Yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. So what is it saying? It's saying that an Israelite who is your brother, because that is the context of all of this, we can start at verse 1, right? Speak unto the children of Israel. Hello. I got to say real quick. I got that from my brother, my big brother Deacon. Hello? Right? So speak unto the who? The children of Israel. So now let's go back down to 35 since we know that it's talking to the Israelites. Because we deal with context here. Okay? We deal with scholarship. We deal with history. But we definitely deal with context. And, you know, these Christians that's in these religions, they don't deal with context. So let's be honest. It's talking to the Israelites, and it says, if thy brother be waxing poor, though he be a stranger. So what is it saying? Your brother, an Israelite, can be a stranger. Right? Okay. So now let's go to Psalms. Right? Let's see what we're going to find in the book of Psalms. We're going to study these scriptures today, man. And look, I you know what I'm saying, as an Israelite, when you come into this thing, man, you have to do your own study. You got to do your own research. We love reading this Bible. We love studying it. But on the Day of Atonement, what that Edomite say? We got time today, cuz. All right, we got time today. So let's go to Psalms. Psalm 69, right? Because we got time today. And we're going to have time tomorrow through the spirit and power of the Most High to reveal His will, man. Right? Psalm 69. Now, what verse I want? I think it's 8. All right, so let's check this out. Always getting context, right? It says to the chief musician upon, I believe that's Hoshana, a psalm of David. This is David, right? Now let's go down to verse 8. What does David say? Zooming it in. Zooming in on up there, right? What does David say? The king of Israel. What does he say? I am become a what? A stranger unto my brethren. So David is saying unto the Israelites, my fellow brother, my kinsmen, I have become a stranger. Now, I mean, let's do it, right? This word, stranger, let's get it. I'm not even gonna talk. I'm gonna just show y'all. Let's get it, man, because I'm tired of the BS. Let's see what this word is for stranger in Psalm 69. Okay, Psalm 69. Let's see what it do. 69 and 8, huh? Okay, because David is saying he a stranger. What are we supposed to do with that, right? Let's see. 69. I have become a stranger. What's the word? Salakia. What is the word? Wait, do I want the blue letter? Is this what I want? Or the concordance? But anyway, let me see. What's the word they use? Oh, it was right there. Let me see. Lakia. Okay. To be strange, to be a stranger, to become estranged, a foreigner. Okay. Stranger. But if I'm not mistaken, right, which I'm looking for and I can't find it. And listen, Israel, if you're looking for something and you can't find it and you're in the midst of like dealing with a heathen and they're trying to clown you, look, man, we don't have a reason to rush. I can't find it right now, but that doesn't mean this is not true because first of all, it's still calling the man a stranger. But what I was going to say is I do believe that word is goy or goyim, which is the same Hebrew word you would use for a non-Israelite, right? So what am I trying to say here? That this word goy or goyim, right, is the same Hebrew word that gets translated into a heathen in the Old Testament, right? It's the same thing as in the New Testament when it gets translated to Gentile. It's the same thing. In the Old Testament, it's strangers. In the New Testament, it's Gentiles. We're going to further prove that. But first, we need to deal with the fact that David is calling himself an estranged person from his own nation. Now, we know David was an Israelite. We know he was from the tribe of Judah, the son of Jesse. We know this, man, right? So we can't try to say the man wasn't an Israelite. That ain't happening, right? So let's go back here to Psalms. He says, I am become a stranger unto my brethren and an alien unto my mother's children. Let's double check, see what this word alien is, right? An alien. Foreign, alien, foreigner, okay? Unknown, familiar. Hello? So why is it saying this, man? Because there's a way that you could become a stranger to the Israelites. Didn't it just say, hold on, man, let's go back. Let's go back. Because did it not say, let's go to 25 and 35 again in Leviticus. Did it not just say a stranger or what? Or a what? A sojourner. What is a sojourner? Right? Someone who is an Israelite that did not grow up in the land, right? But they still want to keep the customs of Israel. Because we all know 3 times a year you got to come to the land, right? For certain high holy days. So if you are a sojourner or you're coming to Israel to keep those high holy days, but you don't live in that land, you would be considered a stranger or a sojourner, right? So now let's go right here real quick. Let's see something. Because we've already established you can become a stranger as an Israelite. Okay? Let's go to First Kings. We need to go to First Kings chapter 12. We need to go to First Kings chapter 12. Why do we have to go to First Kings chapter 12? We got to understand what the heck happened. Why in the world in the New Testament these Israelites, okay, are only being referred to as Jews? Why is that, man? Because this is the loophole these Christians really run to, and they get out of if you let them. So y'all Israelites got to stop letting these Christians get out of these dang loopholes, man. All right, so Shalakia. First things first, I have not yet used a whiteboard. I'm not used to it, Shalakia. So now, we have established that Israel, right? I'm going to write it down here and I'm going to put it up, right? Israel, okay? Let's write this bigger because I know y'all know where I'm at. Y'all need to see it. Because I don't need to see it. I'm right here. I'm going to write it bigger for y'all, right? Israel, okay? Some of the Israelites, no, not some, not even, we're not even going to do that. I ain't playing games. As an Israelite, you can become a stranger. Now, as an Israelite, y'all can see that, right? All right, so let me go back here, right? As an Israelite, you can become a stranger. This is a possibility. Okay? This is something that happens all the time. Okay? So now that we got that up there, we can't rule out when it says stranger and turn out an Israelite. Okay, we can't rule that out no more. All right, now let's keep going. Okay? Now let's go to First Kings, chapter 12. Let's jump down to 15, right? First Kings, chapter 12, verse 15. Right? All praise to the Most High, man. All praise. And y'all can still hear me, right? Y'all still rocking with me, right? All praise. All right. So let's read this, right? This is First Kings chapter 12, verse 15. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahijah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel, now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. Now, what this is saying, hold on, we'll get into it. I'll explain it. But I want to give y'all a little more context before I explain. Verse 17. But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. So what this is saying, right, is there started to become kind of a split in the kingdom. There started to become kind of an uproar because David was the king, but these Israelites that are not from the tribe of Judah, they're saying, man, what portion do we have in David? Right? So what ends up happening? Rehoboam reigned over the Israel, the northern kingdom, which will be Israel, right? And hold on, let's keep reading, right? Then Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones that he died. Therefore King Rehoboam made speed to get him to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. What does that mean? There's still a divide in the kingdom. Verse 20. And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him unto the congregation, and made him king over all Israel. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only. So now right here, you're starting to get kind of a split in the kingdom between those who followed King David and the house of Judah, and then uh, what would become the northern kingdom. Right? Now check this out. 21. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, and 180,000 chosen men. So Salakia, I was a little off, right? Rehoboam was the one that reigned over the southern kingdom, right? Now check this out, which were warriors to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam the son of Solomon. So now you kind of got what's about to be a civil war. Now check this out, 22. But the word of God came unto Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, speak unto Rehoboam the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people. So now you're getting the house of Judah with the house of Benjamin coming together, right? Verse 24, thus saith the Lord, you shall not go up nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Hold on now. Hold the phone, right? Why is it, you see how it's juxtaposing? It says, you shall not go up to fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. So now, is this talking to, look, this question might go over some of y'all heads. Is this talking to the Edomites? Because if this is not talking to all the Israelites, the brethren, see, look, I can't even play devil's advocate for real because it's too hard for me. But listen, if anybody is trying to say that this is talking about all of Israel, their brethren would have to be, well, I guess, the Edomites or something. But no, this is talking about how Judah and Benjamin wanted to go and fight the rest of the Israelites, right? So verse 25, then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. 27, y'all following me? Y'all with it? 27, if this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam king of Judah, and they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam king of Judah. Right? Now, this is Jeroboam. Okay? And he's saying, look, if Rehoboam becomes king, they're going to turn back and just only be following Judah. Now, 28, whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold, thy God, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan. What is happening here, man? What's going on is Rehoboam, I believe? No. Jeroboam is setting up a place of worship that's not in Jerusalem. That way they don't have to travel all the way to Jerusalem to keep those 3 high holy days that you got to keep every year. What he's doing is he's setting up one in the land of Dan, and one in Bethel, which is in the land of Ephraim, right? You see how it's like, okay, if you want to be part of the northern kingdom, you can keep your high holy days over there. You ain't even got to come to Jerusalem. If you want to be part of the southern kingdom, you don't even have to deal with the northern kingdom. This is a split in the kingdom, man. 31. And he made a house of high places and made priests of the lowest of people, which were not of the sons of Levi. This dude is making Levitical priest. And look, I don't want to badmouth the brother. It's still an Israelite. And even though he was wicked, okay, we ain't getting into that. However, right, everybody gets a chance to repent. This is what I'm saying. The point is that this brother is setting up these places in his high holy land, in his land that he's dwelling, but he's not dealing with the law. The law says you got to keep these certain high holy days in Jerusalem, right? And the Levites, the priests have to be the sons of Levi. They can't be some other tribe. He said he made priests, look at this, of the lowest of the people. Oh, man. Now, verse 32. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. and he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made, and he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So the brother is moving on his own recognizance. Is that the right word? Probably. Listen, he's moving on his own understanding, okay? Because of jealousy, because of envy, and because of not keeping the laws of God, man. And he wanted to do all of this on his own terms, in his own land, in his own place, and not deal with his brethren. So now let's go to 33. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own, what's this? Heart. In his own mind. He made it up in his own mind. Because we know the heart is the mind, okay? And ordained a feast unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. Now check this out. What's happening here is a split in the kingdom. Okay? What's going on is you have a juxtaposition of now the children of Israel and the children of Judah. Okay? You have the southern kingdom, which would be the children of Judah, being king, being governed, and the king of that nation is Rehoboam. Then you have the northern kingdom, and they're being governed and being ruled over by Jeroboam. Now Jeroboam is taking it into his own hands and into his own mind that he's going to do everything all this on his own. I ain't even got to deal with them because they're going to kill me if I do, right? Because he knows what he's doing is wrong. He's trying to usurp authority over his own brethren, man. And he's making Levitical priests out of anybody he wants to. So, what we got over here, man? And let's further prove this split. Let's further prove this split in the kingdom, man. Okay? Let's go to what do I want? I want Isaiah. That's not a shocker. That's my favorite book in the Bible. That's my favorite Israelite. I love that brother, man. The book of Isaiah is really, we've all watched videos. I came into the truth watching videos. But reading the scriptures, the book of Isaiah, man, really had me on. I'm going to put it that way. All right? So let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 11. There we go. Isaiah 11, we'll start at verse 11. It says, Isaiah 11 and 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall now who knows what the first time was? Right? Listen, it's not a lot of people in the chat. It's like 5 people watching. This ain't this kind of platform. It will grow if that's according to the Most High. But whoever's watching, and if you're bold enough, right? What is the first time that he recovered it? Right? Who knows that first time that he recovered it? Right? When we was in the land of Egypt, right? With a strong and a mighty hand, got us out of the land of Egypt. So it says he will recover again a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Salakia Shinar and from Hamad and from the islands of the sea. Right? Salakia, give me 1 second, y'all. Bear with me. Salakia, yeah. Come on. Okay. All praises. So let's get back here, right? We're in Isaiah 11. All right. Isaiah 11. We just read verse 11. So he's going to recover all these Israelites from all these different little places, right? Verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nation, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Check this 13 now, verse 13. The envy also of Ephraim, which is the northern kingdom, shall depart, and the and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. This is saying that this split in the kingdom, right? This civil war, basically, is going to end when Christ comes back, and the Lord shall set His hand again the second time to recover us, and we get put in that new covenant. There will be no more split. You know what? Let's prove this. Let's prove this. Let's prove this. I want Ezekiel 37. Did I write that down? I want Ezekiel 37. Let me see. I'm gonna just get it because I don't think I wrote it down. But let's prove this, man. Yeah, KJV. Let's prove that in the new covenant that the two kingdoms are gonna come back together. All right. I believe it's 37. There we go. Check this out, man. Man, I love the Lord. Okay. Ezekiel 37 and 15. Check this out. The word of the Lord of the Yahweh. The word of, and look, with this caps, if this Lord all caps, we know that that word is Yahweh, the tetragrammaton. The word of Yahweh came unto me again, saying, verse 16, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. This is two nations, two kingdoms, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Verse 17, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand. You know what? This reminds me of a precept that I'm going to get into later on. But when I get into it, I'm going to refer back to this one, and we're going to prove that Christ quoted this. Now look, verse 17, joining one another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand. Now also what this is proving that this is a camp. This is a this is a black Hebrew Israelite camp, right? Because verse 18, and when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? They're like, hey man, what is this, man? You got these boards, this board, you got written down these certain Israelites, and then on this board you got these Israelites written down. What does this mean? Verse 19, say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in thy hand. So this is the same thing when brothers go out there and teach, and there's boards and whatnot, and Israelite names written down. You got James Harden up there, and J-Lo right here, and you got all these pictures of Israelites with their tribe next to it, and people like, man, what does that mean? The same thing is going on here in Ezekiel chapter 37, man. Right? Now, going back, First Kings, splitting the kingdom, and Isaiah, splitting the kingdom. Even in Ezekiel, this is after the split, it's saying that they're going to become one again. So, what are we writing up here? What are we writing up here? We're going to put split in the kingdom, right? Split in the kingdom. You had North versus South. That sounds like black people's history. You know what I mean? You read this Bible, man, you find out we was always doing this type of stuff. Now let me go back here. I don't think okay, kind of right. So let's go here. So we got Israel can become a stranger. Yeah, that's light. Okay, there we go. Then we got there's a split in the kingdom. I don't know. I know how to do this. There we go. We got a split in the kingdom. You got the North versus the South. That sounds like African Americans' history. That sounds like Latin Americans' history, right? The Norteños versus the Serranos, the Bloods versus the Crips, East Coast versus West Coast, right? Peace Stones versus disciples. Same thing, man. Even back then in Ezekiel and First Kings, in the book of Isaiah, in Chronicles, man, you had our people always going against each other. And you know what? In the new covenant, Ephraim and Judah ain't gonna be vexing each other no more. You know how many brothers? You know how many videos I watch, and there's brothers coming on, to brothers' channels who are learned and do study, and you got these brothers coming on to the channel. They're talking about them damn Mexicans ain't Israelites. Is that not Judah vexing Ephraim now? Because I don't see them saying that about. They say the Northern Kingdom is in Africa. Yes, right. I gotta quote my brother Yahweh. They say they're in Africa. Yes. He makes you answer. Listen, if the Northern Kingdom is in Africa, show me them Africans that you beefing with. Who you vexing in Africa? Stop it, man. But for you to say that them damn Mexicans ain't Israelites, you're trying to classify all the Latinos as Mexicans. Or you just unlearned and you don't know that they're not all Mexicans. I don't even know at this point. But what I do know is you're clearly vexing the Northern Kingdom. Con, let's move on, man. At this point, like, I'm just really tired of the BS, man. All right. So, we went to the book of Ezekiel, right? We clearly see there's a split in the kingdom right here. Now, let's go to the book of Sirach, right? Let's go to, I had a what you call it one up here, apocrypha one up here, and they did me dirty. Okay, so let's just we're gonna relook it up. Let's do Iraq. I believe it's 47. Let's go to Iraq 47. I'm gonna put KJ Vizzle, or if you're not from the West Coast, KJV. Right? Iraq 47. What the heck is it? Go back. No, that's not right. Whatever. That works. No, it's not legitimate. All right, so Direct 47. I don't want verse 18. We're gonna go straight to verse 1, right? And we're gonna scroll down to 21. What's that say, man? This is Sirach 47:21. So the kingdom was divided, and out of Ephraim ruled a rebellious kingdom. Now y'all gotta understand what this is talking about, man. The Northern Kingdom. Now I'm a Northern Kingdom brother. I'm a Native American Indian from the Iroquois tribe. We are rebellious. Not even gonna lie about that. We're a rebellious house, man, and it says it right here. We went off into idolatry, man. It was all bad for us. Okay. But Judah, which is the leader of all the tribes, they held on to um, to the law, statutes, and commandments and our heritage all the way to the last of us, man. They were the last of us, right? So it says right here in Sirach, the kingdom was divided, and out of Ephraim ruled a rebellious kingdom. Okay? Now, my Ephraimites today will be the Puerto Ricans, but that ain't even what it's talking about because we know that Ephraim was the head tribe of all the northern kingdom. So when it's saying out of Ephraim, it's talking about that whole northern kingdom. We were just wicked, man. Okay? Now, let's go to I want to go here yet. Yeah. I'm gonna go to second Esdras, right? Let's go to second Esdras. This is about to be a nightmare for you Negro only brothers. But whatever. Sometimes you need a nightmare to understand what a good dream is. That don't make no sense. Listen. Second Esdras chapter 13, verse 40. Getting real. Here we go. Let me zoom in a little more. Okay. Now, it says, verse 40, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king. Why does it say 10 tribes here? Who knows why it says 10 tribes? Is there only 10 tribes of Israel? We heard that Arthur Koestler, that Edomite devil, talking about there's 13 tribes, and then you gotta be out your mind. But it's saying there's 10 tribes here. Let's see why it says that, right? Now it says Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. Now, the 10 tribes are talking about the northern kingdom. Because we just read in 1 Kings when it said that Judah and Benjamin went to Jerusalem and they was doing their own thing. Now, if there's 12 tribes, you take away 2, now you got 10. So you got these 10 tribes who went to the Assyrian captivity. How else do we know this is only talking about the northern kingdom? We know that Judah didn't go into the Assyrian captivity. Hello. Now, verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves, the northern kingdom, right? That they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt. That's talking about the Americas. That's talking about the Americas. At this time, we know Asia is inhabited. We know Europe's inhabited. We know that Africa is inhabited. Okay? But we know that there's this other place called the fourth part of the earth. The fourth part of the earth, man, where nobody was dwelling. Verse 42, that they might keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land, man. They wanted to keep it perfectly. This ain't saying they never kept no laws. They saying that they wanted to keep it perfectly without any interruption, man. Verse 43, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. Now, let me say this real quick, because I just peeped this out. I just peeped it. Now, it says that they wanted to, verse 41, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen so they can keep their laws. Now, this is me speaking as a man. This is me speaking as a man right now. I believe they said, hey, every time we don't keep this law, we go into slavery. So we going to get away from everybody. Just in case we don't keep these laws, can't nobody come and take us into slavery. How you going to try to outsmart the Most High, man? He sent a whole damn British cavalry over here for my people, man. Spaniards, French, all kind of different people came over here and just ran roughshod. Because we tried to get away from the heathen, like Most High wasn't going to bring the heathen to us for disobeying his laws, man. It says right there in Deuteronomy 28. So we couldn't escape these curses, man. Now, verse 43. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river, for the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over. Now, what the Most High did is he allowed them to come down into the Euphrates River and let them out into what's that down there, man? The Indian Ocean or whatnot. And then you go around the Horn of Africa. Because a lot of people read this, they be bugged out. They talking about how you take the Euphrates River all the way to America. Like, you know what I mean? It's not what it's saying, but anyway, it's saying that they got into the river. The river took them down because the water comes from somewhere. They took them down to the ocean. From there, they went. Most High gave them safe passage. Now, verse 45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And that same region is called Arsareth. Now you can go and check out extra biblical sources. It's going to tell you that Arsareth is in America. Not only that though, if you check out the nautical miles that it'll take to sail from that area around the Horn of Africa and go all the way to the North America, it's going to take you a year and a half. Without using speedboats, without using no yacht. I'm talking about nautically measuring how long it'll take by nautical miles. It's a year and a half, man. Okay? Now check out 46. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. That's today. That's the times right now, man. And now when they shall begin to come. So right now, okay, the northern kingdom is in Arsareth. Arsareth is in America. Now, you know what? I'm gonna get that precept right now. I told you I had a precept when I read it, Ezekiel. I'm gonna pull it now, right? Because watch what Christ say, man. Watch what Christ say. Hey, when I first came into the truth, man, I'm not gonna say who it is, but when I first came into the truth, I actually had a discussion with a biblical. I'll say he's a biblical scholar, right? And the brother he quoted this verse. Now let's see. I'm gonna show y'all something because at the time I really didn't quite know. Like I understood the scriptures, I understood the doctrine of the scriptures, I understood what the Bible was saying. But you have to be prepared, man, for everything, because these Christians, man, and it's not their fault. It's to their own detriment, but it's not their fault. This is why we gotta pull them out the fire. They may not have been woken up to go and pull somebody out the fire. They may be the ones getting woken up, getting pulled out the fire. But who's got to do it? Someone has to be the pulling, man. Right? We don't ask for none of the lots that we get. But what I do know is this. Most High woke me up for this for a reason, man. And I'm going to bring it out. So, like I was saying, man, he pulled this verse on me. Now, let's read this. Verse John 10. And 14. I want to start at 14. Let's start at 14. Okay. 1 John 10 and 14. Right? I am the good shepherd and know my sheep, and I am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Now, verse 16. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. Them also must I bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be no fold and slacker. There shall be one fold and one shepherd. Now, when I was talking to this brother, he pulled us to try to say that these other sheep are non-Israelites. They're Gentiles. Now, I now know why he said that, because it says, and other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. See, a lot of Christians don't even know that Christ wasn't dealing with all of Israel. Why? This is why we, hey, let's go back. Let's go back, right? This is why we got the whiteboard, right? This is why we got the whiteboard, so we can refer back to it. Why were there other sheep that are not of this fold? Because Christ, now we got to write this down. Now we have to write this down. Christ only dealt with the southern kingdom. Right? Christ was only dealing with the southern kingdom because they were the only ones that were still left in Israel and Judea, right? So now we got Israel to be strangers. There was a split in the kingdom, and then when on the time that Christ was there, he only was dealing with the southern kingdom. So when a Christian says there's other sheep not of this fold, they're thinking the fold is Israel. The fold is not Israel. The fold is the Jews. Okay? That fold that Christ is talking about is the Jews. Why? Because he says, Salaki, John, right? He says, and other sheep I have which are not of this fold. What is this fold that he's talking about? He was in Israel where only the southern kingdom Israelites were. The so-called Jews. The kingdom of Judah. Okay? I sound like my brother Ariana. The kingdom of Judah, man. Right? That's who Christ was dealing with. The northern kingdom, oh, let's get that. Let's get that. Let me get that real quick. Lakia. I want that. Let me see. I believe it's Jeremiah 7. Let me see, it's Jeremiah 7. Because, hey, this is real, man. This is real. We're not dealing with no more false understandings of our Messiah, man. Right? Let me get Jeremiah 7. Let's check this out. You can no longer use the sheep of this fold thing. Because you cannot classify all the Israelites as Jews. Can't do it. What do I want? All right. Jeremiah 7 and 15. What's that say? Right? And I will cast you out of my sight. First off, let's see. Because we want to make sure. Actually, I mean, we could just juxtapose it right here. And I will cast you out of my sight. Who is he talking about? Let's find out. As I have cast out all of your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim. Who is the brothers of the Ephraimites? Now we understand that Ephraim is talking about the northern kingdom. Ephraim is the head of the northern kingdom, just like Judah is the head of the southern kingdom. So he's telling the Jews, right, or the southern kingdom, I'm gonna cast you out, just like I casted out all of the northern kingdom. So by the time Christ comes, not only is only Christ dealing with the southern kingdom, even God is only dealing with the southern kingdom. Because right here, he said he casted out the northern kingdom already. And he was getting ready to cast out the southern kingdom, man. Right? So, what we're saying is, by the time Christ came here in John, and he's saying, I have other sheep that are not of this fold, you cannot say that's talking about all of Israel. And then check this out, and there shall be one fold. Where are we at? Right? Because I'm about to do these back to back. I'm doing these back to back, right? Where's it at? Here we go. No. I want uh I want Slovakia. No, no, no. Where? Germany? Okay. What mean is by these? There we go. I'm over here going all around it and it's right there. Verse 17 of Ezekiel 37, right? And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall be one in thy hand. This is Christ quoting this right here. There shall be one fold and one shepherd. These two sticks will be one in thy hand. The same thing. Talking about the southern and northern kingdom. So when this says sheep that are not of this fold, and he's got to bring them back into the fold and make them one fold with one shepherd, we know this is talking about bringing both kingdoms of Israel back together. Definitely ain't talking about. Hold on, man. Does it say? Hold on. And make sure they don't run this. Okay. Right. This definitely ain't talking about no heathens because they were never in the fold. Right. They were never broken into two states. They don't need to come back to anything. Okay. So now let's go to I want so now we got this established, right? We got this established. Israel can become strangers. Bro, we're gonna do it like this. Right? Israel can become strangers. There was a split in the kingdom. And then when Christ came, there was still that split, but only the southern kingdom was actually being called the Jews, actually hanging on to jewelry. They were actually the ones that were still keeping the feast days. Okay, they were the ones that was coming up every year to Jerusalem. Those were the Jews. Oh, you don't believe me? Let's go. Let's go to Second Maccabees. Maybe you do believe me, but we still go to Second Maccabees, right? We're still going there. Let's go. Okay. Let's go to Second Mac. How do you have 1611 KJV but don't have the Apocrypha? Hold on. So what is wrong with y'all? This is why we should never put any trust in the white man. Okay. Second Maccabees, right? We're gonna go to verse chapter 6. Let's go. Now, check this out, y'all. Y'all still rocking with me, right? Y'all ain't got nothing to do. It's the day of atonement. Now, check it out. This is Second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 6. Okay? It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, like an ancient fast. Today's an ancient fast, man. Right? Then it says, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Now, this is past the split of the kingdom. This is past the civil war of both kingdoms fighting each other. This is past vexing each other and treating each other like strangers. Because let me tell you something: the Southern Kingdom, they treated the Northern Kingdom like they weren't even Israelites because they weren't coming every year, 3 times a year to keep the feast days in Jerusalem. Okay, they were doing their own thing, man. So it says right here to profess himself at all to be a Jew. When I first came into the truth, and I know brothers still teach this like this, a lot of brothers think this is talking about. I mean, a lot of brothers think that in the New Testament, the Gentiles are the Northern Kingdom. Listen, I understand that. Some of them were, right? And I understand the reason why we think that is because there was a split in the kingdom, and that the kingdom of Judah stayed in Jerusalem, stayed in Israel, and kept. So we think, oh, well, those Gentiles who are Israelites have to be the Northern Kingdom. But hold on. We just read in Second Esdras that the northern kingdom, the majority of them, the bulk of them, went to Arsacides, to the Americas. Now you had a remnant of them that stayed here, okay, and they, yes, they amalgamated unto other nations. They started calling themselves after those nations. They started keeping their customs. They started keeping their high holy days. So we treated them as Gentiles, absolutely. It's like now the southern kingdom treated the northern kingdom like Gentiles. Okay, they didn't respect them. They didn't respect that they were even trying to serve God, man. Right? This is why we need the Christ, but I'll get into that later. So this says to be a Jew. Now, we got to understand this. The Greeks took the southern kingdom in captivity, not the northern kingdom. Northern kingdom was over in Arsacides, man. They took the southern kingdom in captivity, right? We know about the Hasmonean dynasty. We know about the Maccabean dynasty. Those were of the southern kingdom. Those were Jews, and those were Levites and Benjamites. So what this is saying is that even though the northern kingdom have forgotten, hold on, let's go to Jeremiah real quick. And we're going to come back. We're going to come back. Bear with me. Because Christians be trying to act like this don't say what it says. I need to know, if this is don't say what it says, I need to know what the heck this means. Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shalt be discontinued from thy heritage with Salakia, that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So yes, we know that Israelites were discontinuing from their customs, their laws, their statutes, their commandments, their heritage, their name, their land. Okay, we know that happened, but we also do know that there was the southern kingdom, okay, the kingdom of Judah, that knew who they were, kept their law, statutes, and commandments. They were in the land. They were keeping the high holy days. They were keeping the feast days, all of that. Okay. So by the time you get to Second Maccabees and the Hasmonean dynasty, the northern kingdom had already either left, or some of them that stayed forgot who they were. Whether it was beaten out of them, whether it was because they were away from the land way too long, trying to keep their own little customs, whatever. The fact is, they were gone, man. Okay? And some of the ones that still knew who they were, they had to keep it on the low. But when it's saying that you couldn't be a Jew, this is the Greeks enforcing the Jews who knew who they were still, and forcing them into Greek captivity, Greek customs, Greek names, right? Greek high holy days. Okay? At this time, you had Hellenization, man. So this was running rampant. So this was a straight law from the heathen that you could not say that you were a Jew. You had to say you were a Greek, a Hellenized Greek. Okay? So, what we got here? We're writing this down too. What am I saying? I lost something. There we go. Right? So now let's write this down too. Okay? Jews became Greeks. Okay? Now don't get, hey, look. Hold on. I done marked up this, what you call it? I gotta clean up. But listen. Come on, buddy. There we go. So now, we got Israel can become strangers. We got there was a split in the kingdom, north versus south. You got Christ only dealt with the southern kingdom, or by the time that Christ was on the scene, the only people that was really claiming to be Israel and keeping the actual laws and customs were the southern kingdom, the Jews. Now, about 150 years before that, the Jews were coming out of Greek captivity, being classified as Greeks now. It was unlawful. You would get killed to call yourself a Jew. Okay? So now, let's go to Acts. Let's go to Acts chapter 10. Now, this is what I was trying to show y'all in the beginning with the Edomites, with the little I don't know why they was wearing them little bra caps on their head. That's not in the Bible. Okay? And I don't know why they were of pale skin, because it says that the Jews were niggers. Anyway, let's go to Acts chapter 10 and let's deal with Cornelius. Right? Wait, is it 10? Like it. Let me see if this is about right. I want to Acts 10. I'm in John 10. Bear with me. Okay. Acts 10. All right, y'all. And this is now let me tell you something. This is a favorite. This is a favorite for Christians, man. That's stuck in white supremacist Christianity. There's a new term going out there. I give props to my boy Sakari, man. The boys of Sakari, the kings of Sakari, man, they've come up with a term for a BLACC. Okay? A BLACC. Bootlicking ass, they say bootlicking ass coon Christians. I personally like bootlicking ass Christian coons. I just like the way it rolls off. That's me. But, bootlicking ass coon Christians or Christian coon, either way, man. They, Cornelius, man, because they don't understand it. They think Cornelius is some Gentile who's now getting salvation. Of course, they would love that. But they don't love the breakdown of it, because the breakdown and just reading it makes perfect sense. Acts 10 and 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian Band. First of all, Christians right here will say, see, he was in the Italian band. He couldn't have been an Israelite. What? How does this right here say he's not an Israelite? Oh, because they see Italian band. That's the thing, man. When you subject yourself to Christianity, and mainly religion, it forces you not to read this Bible. And it forces you not even to think critically or logically or to make sense of things. They just say, well, God can do anything. You saying God can't do that? Listen, I ain't saying God can't do that. We just dealing with context, logic, reality, and a theme of the Bible. Because if he's a non-Israelite, this would go against the theme of the Bible. But you only would know the theme of the Bible if you read it from the beginning, man. I'm not about to go to some Harry Potter fan reading group, walk right in there, and I've only read the last, 4 chapters of the book and being like, nah, this don't say that, that ain't this. I've only read the last part. You know what I mean? So we got to use proper hermeneutics of understanding of these scriptures. So check this out. There was a certain man in Caesarea. Where is Caesarea? Right? Where is Caesarea? Luckily, I pulled it up. Now, I done zoomed all the way out, but this is fine. This is totally perfect. Caesarea is right here with this red dot in it. You see who's now living there, who's been moved over there. Okay, a bastard. Now listen, where is Rome? Oh, no, let's not do that. Where is the Italian band? Over here, yes? Where is Caesarea? Man, I don't know, west bank of Jerusalem, man. This was where, okay, so this is where Christ was. This is where Cornelius was. How he a Gentile? Based on the fact that it says Caesarea. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. My bad. They don't base it on that. They base it on this. So, first of all, though, we proved that Caesarea is clearly in Israel, right? He was clearly born in Israel, lived in Israel, family from Israel, right? Now let's deal with this Italian band thing. That's gonna be a stumbling block to a lot. He was a centurion of the band called the Italian Band. So I want to know this: is it because it says he's a centurion, or is it because it says he's of the Italian Band? Either way, let's deal with both, right? So let's go to Acts. We're just gonna go a few chapters over, man. It's gonna be 20. Let's go, man. Look at Acts. So we're in Acts 10, dealing with Cornelius, right? For those who might just came in, we're in Acts 10 dealing with Cornelius. Not only that, I got the whiteboard up. Let's reset the room. I got the whiteboard up. We got Israel being strangers. There was a split in the northern kingdom. We got by the time of Christ, the only people that was really following the law, statutes, and commandments and claiming to be Israelites was the southern kingdom, and that's who Christ went to. He only stayed in Israel. He didn't travel outside the land, right? And then you got Jews becoming Greeks in the Greek captivity. So by the time Christ is on the scene, you have Israelites who are Jews being called Greeks. So I'm just resetting the room for y'all real quick, right? So now, we're in Acts 10. We're dealing with Cornelius. We don't deal with it, right? Shout out to my brothers at the Watchmen, man. We don't deal with it. And after we deal with it, y'all got to deal with it. No, right? All praises, man. I love this, man. So look, we're in Acts 10 dealing with Cornelius. Let's go to Acts 22, man. Let's go to Acts 22. Now, Acts 22 and 25. Here we go, man. And as they bound him with thongs, now listen, don't get simple, Israel. This ain't talking about Cisco and them, right? Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? Hold on now. Paul said he a Roman, right? Paul is saying he a Roman. Now, if I were to use the logic of these Christians, Paul is a Gentile. Just because it says he's a Roman, right? I mean, that's what I have to agree to if I'm agreeing to your understanding, right, Christians? Blacks. I have to now assume that Paul is an Edomite or Salakia. You know, he is. I don't want to jump the gun, okay? We have to assume that Paul is a Gentile and not an Israelite. Okay? Now, verse 27. Then the chief captain came and said unto him, tell me, art thou a Roman? Paul said, yeah. Paul said, yeah, I'm a Roman. And the chief captain answered, with a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Paul said, but I was freeborn, man. Right? Then verse 29, then straightway they departed from him, which should have examined him. They should have examined him, but they left. And the chief captain also was afraid after he knew that he was a Roman and became him stalking, and because he had bound him. So now this actual, well, listen, we can't even assume that this man was an Edomite or a Roman or not an Israelite. Stop assuming stuff, Christians. Now listen, what it's saying is, when this Roman centurion found out that Paul was saying that he was a Roman, he got pressured. He said, oh, dang, bro, I could get fired for this, right? In modern day terms. Or back then, I could get killed for this or banished from for this. Now, the real question is, was Paul a Roman? Was Paul not an Israelite because he said he was a Roman? Damn that. Was Paul an Israelite? Paul was most emphatically an Israelite. Most emphatically, man. Why do we say this? Well, let's just see what the Bible says. Romans 11 and 1. I say then, as God cast away his people, God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin, man. Verse 2, God has not cast away his people which he foreknew. Hold on, man. This is amazing. Why would God cast away people that he knew was going to do wrong and he knew he was going to bring them back? Finished, man. So Paul is emphatically saying, I'm an Israelite. But he's also saying he's a Roman. What do we do with this? Am I confounded? Are we as black Hebrew Israelites confounded now? No, man. We understand that Israel is his nation. Because the Israelites were established way before the Romans. So what takes precedent? His nationality. He's an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. But he grew up where? Where did Paul grow up? Right? Oh my goodness. He's Irvine. I don't even know if I'm spelling it right. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Okay. Tarsus. Uh, yeah, that's a bad map, but y'all see it's clearly not, well, because I guess it ain't clear. This works. Because we know Cyprus is, um, this works too. Okay, so here's all praises. Here's Caesarea right here. And Tarsus, we know, is right up here. There it is, Tarsus. So now, this is Roman territory right here, right? There we go. This is Roman territory right here. So when Paul, who was born in Tarsus as Saul, he was born in Roman territory as a Roman citizen. But that's not his nationality. He's a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. Okay? So now, if the Most High has not cast away his people, and he never will, because we all know in the scriptures say that the sun and the moon shall pass before the Most High cast away his people. Okay? Utterly cast away his people, because we know that there was a time where he was like, I'm not dealing with y'all, but he said he will never utterly cast away the seed of Jacob. Never. Okay? So now, let's go to, well, this is just, okay. You know what? I'm gonna save that precept because I'm gonna do another lesson, right? Lord willing, where I want to break down with the whiteboard. I want to break down who Paul's letters are written to. Who are these people, man? Right? Who are they? So I'm gonna save the precept I was gonna grab for that next lesson. For now, I want to go. Let's go to Revelation. Okay, like it. Revelation. Okay, let's go to Revelation chapter 7. Revelation chapter 7. You already know. We're going to verse 9. Okay? We're going to verse 9. Hey, so listen, man. I know a lot of Christians think this kills a lot of our understanding. Same way they thought Cornelius killed a lot of our understanding, right? Same way they thought when they said there's no Jew, no Greek, killed a lot of our understanding, which don't make no sense. If you're a Jew, if you're not a Jew and you're not a Greek, why are you even pulling that precept to prove you can be saved? Because they try to say Greek represents Gentile. What? When, where, why, and how does it represent that? Because if I'm an Egyptian, I'm going to be like, well, I guess you got to be a Jew or a Greek. If I'm a Filipino, I'm going to be like, well, I guess that ain't for me. Cut that, me black. Look at that Christian. Okay, anyway, so Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9. Let's read it here first. Revelation 7 and 9. We're talking about 144,000. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. Revelation 7 and 9. Y'all rocking with me? All praises to the Most High, man. 7 and 9. After the 144,000, because they never try to address what the this is, after talking about what the 144,000, 12,000 for each tribe, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and all kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne. Now, hold on. We're caught, right? We're caught red-handed. We need to pack up our Bibles, pack up our signs, pack up our walking sticks, right? They be talking about us cold. But anyway, we need to all go home now because it says every nation, kindred, tongue, tribe, right? Stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Now, let me tell y'all something. That's a cut. Because I can show you the precept where it says only the Israelites will be before the throne, clothed in white robes and palms in their hands. I can show you that. But I'm going to show you something of a way. I'm going to show you way more of a guillotine strike than a. I mean, they're both guillotine strikes. I'm not going to lie. But some of these Christians are just dumb. And if you try to go too deep, they won't even understand that, right? I had to have someone tell me that through the spirit of power. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just cut you with the root of it. Let's go to what it says in the Blue Letter Bible, because we know this was not written in English. We know the New Testament was written in Hebrew. We know the Old Testament was written in Hebrew, and we know the New Testament was written in Hebrew. Newsflash: the New Testament was written in Hebrew. It got destroyed. We had to rewrite it in Greek. Challenge me on that, man. Anyway, so let's go. I beheld a lo, great multitude with no man can number of all nations. So let's see what this word for nations is. Ethnos, we know that just means nation. Okay. Kindred. Let's see what this word for kindred is. Phylum. Right? Or they're gonna say phule. It probably is, but either way, right? Let's say phule, right? A tribe. Let's zoom in. Let's zoom in. Okay. A tribe. Okay. This is the Greek word for kindred. The Greek word for kindred. Tribe. In the New Testament, so this is one. Here's 1A. In the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. All praises to the Most High, man. And then you got one, and then you got 1A, and then 2, a nation of people. So it's a tribe, and in the New Testament, it's referring to the Israelites. You're cut. So now, it says, of all nations and Israelites, and people and tongues. So now, what I wanted to show you about that kindred is this word kindred is talking about Israelites. This word nation is just nations, people, and tongues. Now we know that we spoke different tongues, different languages. We know that we're going to look like different people and we're going to come from different nations. But the kindred, those people, those bloodline descendants, those people are the Israelites. Now hold on, let's go here. Let's go to James real quick. Let's go to James, man, because I can already hear the scoffer. Right? I can already hear the scoffer. It says all nations, and even though I just showed you that that's talking about Israelites, they can't. It's called cognitive dissonance. So they can't even fathom that what you just showed them debunks what they believe in, because it takes a lot to separate somebody from what they were taught and believe in. When you show them the truth, they have to admit that what they believed in is not actually correct. And it takes a lot. It takes a strong person to do that, or it takes the Spirit of God putting on you to do that. Now this is James 1:1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So we know that. Oh, you know what? I forgot to write something. Salakia, y'all. Salakia, y'all. Right? Let's write this. Right? We got more to write. Okay? Because they can't, in the words of my brother, Yahweh, they can't get away. So we got Israelites, right? Can be Roman all right. So what we've added now is that Israelites, such as Paul and Cornelius, can be Roman citizens. Now, if they could be Roman citizens, man, but it doesn't change their nationality, it doesn't change who their forefathers are, right? Then that means that you could be classified as a Roman or a Greek or any of these things, but that doesn't change your nationality. I'm an American citizen, but I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Gad. It is what it is, man. But when you don't have proper understanding, you think people are classified by where they're born and where they live. But I hear it all the time. I used to hear it when I used to watch One Body. If I'm born on the airplane, what am I now? What if I'm flying over 2 states? What if I'm in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, man? It's not about where you're born. It's about the seed of your father. Okay? So now, what we're going to get into is the Israelites are scattered abroad. You got the Northern Kingdom way in America. Okay? You got the remnant of the Northern Kingdom still here on the Eastern Hemisphere, but they call themselves all kind of different stuff. You got a remnant of the Jews or the Southern Kingdom being called Greeks, being called Romans, being called Elamites. We already know. Is that? Let me see. Let me see if that's right. No, that's an act. But listen, the point is that the Israelites are scattered abroad, being classified as all kinds of things, man. Speaking all kinds of different languages, keeping all kinds of different customs. So if they have different tongues and they're coming from different places, and we know that an Israelite is determined by the seed of your father, a heathen mother, that offspring is going to be an Israelite, but it's going to look a little different. Look at Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, that plays for the Boston Celtics, he got an Israelite father, right? I believe he's from Judah. And his mom, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his mom's father is like Asian, and and her mother is a Judite. So this brother, Jason Tatum, he's gonna have very, very slick hair and tight eyes. Their brother's an Israelite, man. So you're gonna have Israelites looking different ways, talking different ways. But what do we read right here? They're still Israelites. Okay? So that Revelation 7 and 9 ain't gonna help you out. Hey, I'm about to another thing, Israel. I'm gonna start doing reviews, me and the other brothers, Lord willing, reviews of our old videos. Now I wish I wish the Crip video was up. I don't know what happened to that video when we went to Nipsey Hussle's hood, right? And shout out to them brothers, man. If I could see them today, I would talk to them brothers, man. You know, I was on fire back then in a different way, man. They used to put me and my camp in bad situations, but we still didn't. We had no fear, man. Look, the Most High was protecting us because of my overzealousness of being on fire, right? If the Most High wasn't with us, we would have got caught that day. But the Most High was with us. But I say that to say, I wish I could review that video and really show what was really going on, and I wish I could see them brothers and reach out to them and have an understanding. But the point of the matter is, I brought up that to say, we're going to start reviewing our videos because in one of our videos, we went and blitzed the Jehovah Witness Church. And I pulled the scripture. Well, actually, he pulled Revelation 7 and 9, and I showed him in the Blue Letter Bible that's talking about Israelites. And he was mum's the word, right? So this doesn't work anymore, Christian Church, BLACC, okay? It doesn't work anymore. Now, let's go to, I don't even know if I really want this, but let's see. Revelation 21. This is extra, but whatever. Now, this is talking about the kingdom of heaven, New Jerusalem, huh? New heaven, new earth, and there's no more sea, and the holy city, and great voice, and right? This is talking about the kingdom of heaven, man. New Jerusalem. Now, let's check out something in New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem has a wall, verse 12, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, man. Now, I will say this. This is metaphorical. There's not going to be an actual physical city coming down out of heaven, man. Because these gates, the measurements of these gates will reach up into outer space, man. This is not a real, but however, this is a representation of the kingdom of heaven, and we see that in the kingdom of heaven, those gates, which are rulership and security, are the Israelites. You're done, you're cut. There's nothing to say, man. Right? Mum's the word. All praise to the Most High. So now let's go to what else I want to get into right here. I want to get into yeah, let's do it. All right. So see if we got anything to write. Right? I believe we're good right there, right? So I want to go to the book of John, the third chapter. Right? Y'all know a verse, but I'm gonna load up. I'm gonna load up while I'm getting it, man. I'm gonna load on up. Now, if y'all still with me, y'all still rocking with me, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai. Um, Listen, the fact of the matter is we have to take our scriptures serious. We can no longer allow these heathens to try to teach us our scriptures, our heritage, right? Our history book incorrectly. First of all, they're not supposed to be teaching it anyway. But I would be remiss if I didn't go around and spend the rest of my days, Lord willing, teaching my people how to keep the law and telling these heathens, put our book down, man. And if you go teach it, I want you to teach it like this. I can't be saved. If you're an Israelite, you can't be saved. And I cannot wait to be your slave in the kingdom and serve your God through you. I mean, seriously, I need that. I don't need to talk about Jesus and God and the Spirit are one. No, man. I'm not about to have you completely going against the first commandment of God. I think Siri done heard me somewhere. Siri, shut up. All right, listen. So let's go to Isaiah 40. So let's start at John 3, verse 16, right? Now listen. Let me say this, right? And let me get is it Numbers or is it's Numbers. Okay. Let me get Numbers. Now, I have heard Christians go to this verse to explain something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Seriously. I'll be like, so how come right here in the book of Isaiah 61, it says this, I so love the world. I'll be like, man, that ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking about. I know you think that this verse is saying God came to save everybody, but even in the context of what I'm asking you, that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying. But anyway, let's deal with it, right? Brother Obadiah. Shout out to Brother Obadiah. That's a funny brother, man. That brother keeps me laughing, right? Before we was in the truth, me and that brother used to laugh a lot. Okay, so listen, we still laugh. So listen, let's go to John chapter 3 and verse 16. It says what? Now listen, I know Gentiles damn pets who can quote this verse. How sad is that, man? So it says John 3 and 16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Okay, let's deal with it. What's the context? See, Christians think this is the context. This what? No, the context obviously starts right here. John 3 and 1. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the who? The Jews. Now Christ is talking with him. Christ is the king of the Jews. So you got two Jews talking to each other about things that have to do with the Jews. That's first and foremost. Shalom, my brother, right? The ROC, my brother Ron. Okay. We know that these are two Jews talking to each other about salvation, right? Because he asked him, right, about salvation. And Christ says, what, you got to be reborn? So these are two Jews discussing salvation, first and foremost. Now, verse 14. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Who? Okay, let's deal with it. Who did? Why was the serpent lifted up in the wilderness, and for who? Okay, let's see. And the Lord, let's start at verse 5. And his people spake against God and against Moses. Wherefore have you brought us out of Egypt to die in this wilderness? They said, yo, you straight up saved us from these Egyptians just to have us die of hunger in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither there is no water, and our soul loatheth like something the day of atonement. I feel you. I feel you. There's no bread, no water, right? But there's the Spirit of the Most High, man. Verse 6. And the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people. And much people of Israel died, man. Not the whole world, much people of Israel. Therefore, the people came to Moses. The people, which people? The Israelites. Let's stay in context. And said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. Which people? The Israelites. Gotta always keep doing that, right? For these simple Christians. As a matter of fact, let's do this. The people are the Israelites in Exodus. Numbers. All right, now we got that established, right? Now, read on. Go ahead. Tell us about the brother that taught me. Come on, go ahead. Right? So now listen. I love the brother. Now listen. By the way, Israel, if I make fun of you, man, I'm just a funny person, man. I love you. That don't mean, right? So anyway, so now, therefore the people came to Moses. Now we read that. Let's go to verse 8. And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that, hold on, that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. Now, it says everyone. Does it not say everyone? Does it not? Is that not basically like whosoever? See, here's what y'all got to understand, Christians, and I'm talking to you because I know one of y'all going to watch this. And you could do a response video. I'm hoping to God you do that, right? I would love it. If this is a book about the Israelites, why does it have to always keep saying the Israelites, the Israelites, the Israelites? If I write a book about Kobe Bryant, and in the first couple chapters, I'm putting, Kobe did this, because I need to establish that's who I'm talking about. But then let's say in chapter 8, I say, and then he went to the store and bought some new Jordans. Does that mean that anybody who's reading this, they can now try to say who the he is? No. Especially if you start at verse 8, chapter 8, when it starts just saying he. But if you didn't read prior, you didn't know the book was talking about Kobe, or whoever the subject matter is, right? So the subject matter of this book is the Israelites. And when it says they, the people, and then he went to the other people, it's the Israelites. Unless it's specifically stated, man. But you ain't gonna know what's stated, what's the criteria, unless you read it from the jump with proper understanding. Right? So everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it on a pole, and it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, hold on, man, I'm about to throw this pen right now. That if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. And I'm gonna see how much Christians y'all are. Listen, I don't expect y'all to put in a chat. I know this ain't that type of channel, right? Lord willing, it will be. But just hypothetically asking, right? Do you think if one of them fiery serpents had bitten a Gentile or someone of another nation, if they had looked upon the serpent, would they have lived? It says if the serpent had bitten any man, whosoever, right? No. This is talking about the Israelites. So when it's saying bitten any man of the Israelites, it's that we already have reiterated all from the beginning of the Bible. So when we get to like, you know what I'm saying, we're in Numbers. This is still the beginning, man. But let's go to the beginning of the chapter of Israel. Hello? So when it says that whosoever of any man, what's the context? The Israelites. Bitten by any man, and then the next verse says, and the children of Israel, right? So come on with the cat. So now, let's go to John, back to John chapter 3, verse 14. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so in that same manner must the Son of Man be lifted up. Now, I don't know. I didn't go to no fancy school or nothing, right? But I know that if it's talking about Israel in 14, and 14 is trying to use an example of something that happened prior that was specifically for one nation of people, whatsoever, how can I now read 16 when it's given the example in 14? How can I now go to 16 and think that's talking about everybody? But when you don't read 14, and especially if you don't read Numbers chapter 21, you're going to think that. I understand why you're deceived. I get it. I know why. I get it. I see it. But you would only have to be deceived if you've never read the prior verses in this Bible. It's the only way you can be deceived. I see how they did it. I get it. I fell for it too until I went and read it and went and realized this book is about one nation. Right? So now, verse 15, that whosoever, hold on, wait a minute. 14 again. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the so Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believes, hold on, bro. No. How can we now try to use the whosoever for everybody when we know in the context the whosoever was an Israelite? But have eternal life. Now 16. For God so loved the world. Do you see this past tense word? Loved. You can't show me anywhere prior to this verse that he loves anyone outside of Israel. Can't do it, can't show it. Mom's gonna be the word. Mom is gonna be the word. You're not gonna be able to find it. But you will find all throughout the verses prior to this one that God loves the Israelites. So let's keep going. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. Stop the cat, man. Let's go to it. Let's go to it. Because now it's saying that God so loved the world, right? And we all know there's only one people that he loved. Okay? But now it's saying that he gave his only begotten son. Right? Let's see who Christ was given to by God, by the Father. This is Christ. But he answered and said, I am not sent. He didn't say, I did not come. He said, I am not sent. So he was sent by somebody. Right? He says, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now we know the Most High God, his Father, sent him. So if he's telling you, I was not sent by God, but only to the Israelites, now let's go back to John, right? So we know God loved the world, but he loved Israel, and that he gave his only begotten son to the Israelites. Does that make sense to only me? I know it doesn't make sense to only me, right? But it says that he sent his son For who? Woo! Right? He is sent by God to the Israelites. So now let's go back to John. That whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Okay. So with that read, right? We kind of have already broken down the criteria of who this has to fit. This has to fit the people he was sent to by God and the people that God loves. Now, y'all might be saying, why is it saying the world? Right? By the way, before I completely confound whoever thinks that that's talking about the whole inhabitants of the earth, let me see something. Okay, here we go. Psalms 90 and 2. Before the mountains were brought forth, or even thou hast formed the earth and the world. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Even from everlasting to everlasting, thou art the most high God, right? Why is it juxtaposing the earth and the world here? Are they different? Let's see. First off, how many worlds are there? Let's see how many worlds there are that God made. Oh, oh, you saying it's only one world? Is that what you think? I know that's what you're saying, but let's see if God agrees with that. This is Hebrews 1 and 1. God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spoke in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days, verse 2, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom he made, I wish I could zoom further, by whom he made the worlds. That's plural. That's multiple worlds. Okay? So now you got to ask yourself, which world is this? Which world is that, man? That's a good question. I think it's whiteboard time. So let's see. Here's another asterisk. We're going to put multiple worlds. I'm about to, man. Hey, now I have definitely heard, if this follow me in the background, don't laugh, y'all. That's messed up. Listen, I have heard what brothers said they would like to do if they got reparations. Okay? I got some ideas too, but one of them is going to be buying every camp a whiteboard. Because this is still up here. And when you're talking to a Christian without this being right there in their face, they deviate. They return to the vomit. They go back to their cognitive dissonance standing that they had. They go back to what they were taught in cemetery school, right? Or seminary. No, that's another topic. But listen, because this is right here, and I can go back and refer to it, and they can't run from it. This is important for every camp, man. And if we did get that, and the Most High blessed us. Now listen, Edomites, you give us reparations. That's not going to change. It's not going to change the judgment that's in this work, right? But I would definitely buy a whiteboard for every camp. Now, let's see. So what I wrote down here is we got multiple worlds. So we got to figure out which world is this in John 3, verse 16. Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 45, right? We're going to jump down to 17. We're going to start at 16. Verse 16, they shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together, makers of idols. Okay? So this is talking about, let me double check. So this is talking about when the heathen is going to get placed in subjugation and captivity to us when we get put in our new land and when we come into the new covenant. So it's saying that they're going to be confounded and ashamed and just finished, right? But look at verse 16, 17. But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. This is where Christ was quoting from in John. Ye shall not be ashamed, nor confounded. Zoom it again. World without end. These two things right here, world and everlasting, this kind of understanding of Isaiah 45 and 17 is how Christ quoted it. Because Christ said he didn't come to speak his own words, right? So he was saying, this is the same way that the Israelites needed a savior in the wilderness, is the same way, and he was lifted up on that pole, is the same way I'm going to get lifted up on the cross, and whoever believes in me is the same way they had to believe in that serpent. And I'm not saying they had to believe in the serpent, but they definitely had to believe that if they looked on that serpent, that God would help save them from death, man. It's the same matter. So stop it with the John 3:16, but I can guarantee you, man, everybody in the world could watch this breakdown, and they would still be saying John 3:16. That's how we know all of that is of the Lord. Who's supposed to come in, who's supposed to not come in, who's supposed to be blinded by the truth, who's supposed to actually see the truth. That's all up to the Lord. Because I'm plainly showing you what's going on, right? So let me see something. This is just for farts and giggles. This is just for kicks, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 10. All right. Let me see, I'll still rock on me on purpose. So 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 1. Now this is Paul, man. Now, like I said, I'm gonna give y'all a preview of my next whiteboard lesson, which is going to be who are these Gentiles that Paul's writing to. But check this out, right? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea. This has to make those Israelites, that has to make those Corinthians, those people that are in Corinth, right? Those people that are dwelling in Corinth, that has to make those people Israelites. Because there's no reason why Paul would write this to heathens. Their fathers weren't under the cloud and passed through the sea, and were all, look at this, second verse, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Yahushua, Hamashiach. Why would Paul write this to people who are not Israelites? That's like me writing a letter to an Asian dude and saying, yeah, you remember how our forefathers was in slavery to the white people in the South? What? Not at all, man. These are Israelites in Corinth. A Greek providence. Oh, I wonder why Israelites would be in a Greek providence. This is why we got the whiteboard. Where we at, man? Okay? So that's why Paul had to write to Corinth and Ephesus and you know, all these Greek provinces, man. And not only that, to the Romans as well. Because that's where the Israelites were in the present captivity. So now, Romans 9. Let's get Romans chapter 9. Let's see what's up. Because I see a lot of Christians try to say that they are now grafted in, that they are now spiritual Israelites, that don't make no sense. You can't change your nationality. I don't give a damn what you do. You could be treated as such, like how we were being treated as Gentiles and heathens. But that doesn't change the fact that if you're an Israelite and you come back to the laws and believe on Christ, you're going to get salvation. It ain't like God's not going to be like, but I thought he was a Greek, though. I thought he was a Greek. I'm only here to save Israelites. No, bro. It don't work that way. I don't give a damn what you tell me. I give a damn what God says, right? So you trying to say that you're now adopted and grafted in, which, let me say this, and I'm saving this lesson as well. If you're a Christian and being a Jew no longer matters, why do you have to get grafted into being a Jew? Why do you have to get grafted into a nation? How come you just can't be a Christian? Okay, how about this one? How come in the kingdom of heaven, why is it in the land of the Israelites' forefathers? I mean, what does that matter for? Why that shouldn't matter no more, right? Okay, I know. So listen, let's deal with it, because that's just something for you to sit on and think about. Now this is Romans chapter 9, verse 1. I say the truth in Christ, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. Obviously, this is Paul saying he wished that he could have went through what Christ went through for his nation, which is the Israelites, same nation as Christ. Now, verse 4, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. So what is there more to discuss? You can't get adopted into something that is only for the Israelites. That's like me saying, bro, I was about to use a metaphor that Christ already used and just say it in a different way. Let's use the metaphor Christ used, the prodigal son, right? The prodigal son is an allegory, but what's a parable, right? To use biblical terms, it's a parable about the northern and the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom went off. That's the prodigal son. But he came back, and the dad treated him like he never left, right? That's the point. The point is that just because y'all southern kingdom Israelites are still here in Israel, and y'all acting all holier than thou because they done went off, they're still Israelites too. So this adoption thing, that's like me saying, and this is what I was going to say, that's like me telling somebody who's never lived with me they can come back home. What? What you mean you can come back home? You've never lived here. So how can you be adopted back into something you were never a part of? And the adoption is only for Israelites anyway. Let's go. Let's write some more. So this is probably going to be the last thing in my life. But listen, asterisk. How do I want to put this, right? I'll just put it plainly. Adoption for Israel only. And you know what? We're going to underline that part. We're going to underline that because I don't want nobody undermining that. That was terrible. Listen, the adoption is for Israel only, right? So cut out the fact of trying to be a spiritual Jew, a spiritual Israelite. That don't make no sense. How you gonna go back to the land of your forefathers when your forefathers are heathen. We're not going back to a spiritual land of our spiritual forefathers. We're going back to the land that our real forefathers inhabited, man. So what's up with the spiritualness? Anyway. So with that, man, I'm gonna close it on out. If anybody got any questions, you can put it in the chat. I'll answer it. But I want to review this real quick, right? So let's review this, right? This is what we wrote. Listen, this is from precepts. None of this is from my own opinion. None of this is from what I think the Bible is saying. None of this is from what a Christian pastor has told me. This is from what we've read studying the Bible. We read that Israel can be a stranger. You can't refute that. We read that there was a split in the kingdom, and there became north and southern kingdom Israelites. Can't refute that. We also read, and I did this a little out of order, but we also read that the Jews became Greeks after the Greek captivity. No, Salakia, during the Greek captivity and after, man. You were getting killed, hunted down, destroyed if you were saying that you was a Jew and keeping the high holy days. Brothers were sneaking to keep these days, man. Brothers were sneaking to keep the Sabbath. Because when you're in a subjugation to another nation, they don't want you keeping what you did. They want you to keep what they do, man. And what they do is making everybody become Greeks. So now, when you get on the time of Christ, when Christ is on the scene, he's only dealing with the southern kingdom. But some of them are being called Greeks, not the ones in Israel, but some of the Jews that were scattered off were being called Greeks. Then not only that, you got the northern kingdom that wasn't even near the land. Most of them were way across the earth, on a whole other side of the planet. Okay? Then you got Israelites can be Roman citizens. We understand that. We know that Paul was called a Roman. We know Cornelius was called a Roman. That does not disannul them from being Israelites. That does not disqualify them from being Israelites. Okay? Now you got, this one says people, oh yeah, the people are the Israelites when it's talking about in Numbers 21. Okay? When it's talking about in the Old Testament and then the people, and we know that's talking about the Israelites. Let's deal with context. Now you got multiple worlds when we deal with the Bible. We see that there's multiple worlds in this thing. Okay? We see, now I don't know if y'all can y'all, I don't even care if y'all can see this. We're going over it. Okay? I'm reading it out loud. There's multiple worlds in the scripture. We know that, right? And then also we know that the adoption is for Israel only. Okay? So you can't be adopted into something that you were never a part of. Okay? Now this is just all from reading the Bible and dealing with the preconceived notion that the Gentiles cannot be saved along with the Israelites. Let me give you one more before I go. I'm going to give y'all one more before I go, showing that it is impossible. Actually, I'm going to give you this one because I was going to give you another one. But because Christians are the worst, I got to give it to you in the New Testament. Right? Let's give it to you in the New Testament. This is Christ's words talking. Right? Revelation 2:26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, or the heathens. 27, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So if you endure to the end, and you keep them works, and you believe on Christ, you're going to have these other nations in slavery. Now, I would like to see the verse where it says a heathen who has now been adopted is going to take his own people into slavery just because they don't believe. No, not at all. I want to see the heathen that's going to put his mom in slavery and subject her for 1,000 years because she don't believe in Christ. I want to see that, man. No, because a heathen can't believe on Christ. So all these other nations are going in slavery to the Israelites when Christ comes back. And with that, I'm gonna give all praises to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh. Slaki. I'm gonna give all praise to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shai. And I'm gonna say Kwam Yasharala, Hallelujah, Shalom, brothers and sisters that still on the Day of Atonement, endure to the end. And after that, go get you some Benjamin food because they make the best. They make the best food, right? Hey, but yeah, Shalom. Shout out to my camp, man. You know, I love y'all brothers. Shout out to all the other camps. I love y'all brothers and sisters as well. Until I see y'all again, Shalom. And Kwame Shalom.